Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Thursday, July 24th, 2025 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I nurture the love that I am. And happy new moon day! We have a potent new moon in Leo today. The new moon reaches its peak at 12:11 p.m. Pacific time. And I say that this is a potent one because as I look at the chart, there are so many connections, some easy, some a little tougher, that this new moon in Leo is making. So let's start there. So this new moon will be connecting to Uranus, Lilith. Well, let's say their signs. So Uranus in Gemini, Lilith in Sagittarius, Pluto in Aquarius, and Saturn and Neptune in Aries. And all of these are in pretty close connection. The closest one, of course, being Pluto. It's a plutonic colonic new moon, which means there is some destruction and creation. There's some letting go for sure in this new moon energy, and there is a potential for rebirth energy coming in. So be aware of that. But I do love, I feel like this new moon is very supported in this energy with all of these transits, and you are also very supported in whatever transition, transformation, plutonic colonic is coming up for you in this energy. So let's go through the day and then we'll dig into the new moon because there's just a lot going on. We start the day pretty early, but it's the day, not the night, with the sun trining Saturn. And Saturn energy is a call to honor, purpose, energy. And with Saturn and Neptune, both in Aries, we're reminding our divine human mission. That's part of the wake up, shake up that's happening for people is we're having to shift so that we can find that alignment with the mission, right? So we start the morning with that. Now, this is also deeply connected, creating a grand trine with Lilith in Sagittarius. And that's the essence of Lilith as well, to honor your purpose and shake loose anything that is not that. It's interesting because I do liken Lilith to the snake sometimes in the Adam and Eve story. And having that snake bite experience, I feel that for my neighbor, whether he listens or not. Scorpio, he's got to do things his way. But sometimes the snake needs to come in and be like, okay, it's time for a transition. You've got to shed this skin. You've got to shed this layer because there is purpose. There's your life force. There's your life calling. There's your mission waiting for you. So Lilith in part of this is holding this space. And Lilith is in Sagittarius. So Lilith in Sagittarius is asking you to kind of see if you can take a higher bird's eye view of what's unfolding for you and see it as happening for you and see it as being a call to this transformation energy. I mean, we are in Year of the Snake. This is a year of transformation. Moon moves into Leo, looks like about 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. And with the moon moving into Leo, it starts making all these connections that the sun has made over the last few days. So it connects with Uranus, it connects with Saturn, it connects with Neptune, it connects with Lilith before we reach the new moon. So this moon in Leo is being informed by these energies. They're kind of just basically bringing their input. So Uranus energy, again, part of the overall season of change energy that we are in. Uranus is still hanging out at 0. It's in Gemini. So there's kind of a little cheerleading energy between this. And Uranus is it's the breakdown, but don't worry, here comes the breakthrough. So if you're experiencing anything like that, let the Uranus energy cheer you on and know if there is any breakdown, transformation, things shifting, This is for a breakthrough. And I have talked to so many people and clients, there's a lot of that happening this week. So I'm sure with all of you, you're experiencing some of that. The moon then goes and connects with Saturn and Lilith, again, hanging out in that grand trine energy. And the moon is reminding us that our heart knows the way. One of the things when I was looking at this astro energy, I was recalling one of my favorite Rumi verses, which is basically, you are the soul of the universe, and your name is love. And when we remember that we are love and trust that we can follow love, that love, true love, real love, not distorted love, that true love can guide us and help us, that I hope is reassuring to you in and through these energies. And again, Saturn's like, there is a calling, there is a mission, there is a purpose. Listen. One of my favorite quotes about Lilith in one of my favorite Lilith books is talking about how Lilith energy is the bedrock of the soul. And so this energy is being activated and enforced in you. And so today's a really good day to listen. I have to show you this card. So I pulled my cards and then this one flew out and I was like, okay, I guess you wanted to be here. And I immediately looked to see who was it that flew out. And it's aloneness. It's a little hermit time. I know Leo isn't necessarily so hermit time energy, but taking a little time to listen to yourself, to connect with yourself today will be really beneficial because there's a lot going on. But centering in yourself and centering in your heart and in your light, that's one of the things I always notice in any hermit card, is the light that comes through. That will be supportive. We also have the sun reaching a direct trine with Neptune. And so this is an interesting thing. Your life is spiritual. Whether you recognize it as such or not, it doesn't matter. Your life is spiritual. You are spirit in a human body. And so this is just, again, kind of a reminder of that energy. And I think sometimes when we remember that, it can throw off some of those limitations that just thinking of ourselves as humans can sometimes do. You're connected to the infinite. You are connected to the divine. You are a piece of that energy. And I think it's really important to remember that. Moon then connects to Neptune right before we have the new moon energy. So Neptune's deeply a part of this as well, which actually is interesting that Neptune and Pluto are such big parts of this energy, because a lot of people in, I would say, early 80s have yads where Neptune and Pluto are activating the yad. So this is really interesting. This may be an unfolding for some of you in this. There's definitely pieces of past life in this energy. Anytime we have Neptune, there can be past life, deeper layers of things. And Pluto is a call to the rise of power, but sometimes it also recalls where we have felt puny, where we feel powerless, and sometimes we have to face those things in order to rise. I'm hearing the song from Dream On, you've got to lose to learn how to win. And that's been the Pluto process through years. Now, the new moon, like I said, it happens at 12:11 p.m. Pacific time, very close in connection to Neptune at 2 degrees. Aries, very close in connection to Pluto, which is 2 degrees Aquarius. And that is an opposition. The Neptune connection's a trine. So Neptune's like a supporting character. And Pluto's interesting in this. Opposition isn't necessarily unsupported, but it can be a little bit of a tug of war. And you might find yourself in a little bit of a power struggle. Aquarius energy is very mental. It can be very logical. But again, there's a reminder with much of this astro that connecting to your heart is important and necessary at this time. So watch for that divide. Like I said, was it the first day of Sun in Leo? The longest journey, there's that quote, the longest journey is between the head and the heart. And so the work continues in this energy. But like I said, Pluto is calling us into transformation, and part of this is important to listen to our heart. The rest of the day has Plutonic colonic as the Sun and Pluto build to their opposition, which is happening a little bit later in the day, to their exact point of that. So again, aloneness, rest, introspection, all those energies will support you in this. And I want to remind you that I am doing a Patreon group with my friend, Dr. Erin, who is going to help us with a visualization and some emotional regulation, which might be helpful in some of these energies. So the Sabian symbol for this moon is really interesting. The Sabian symbol for this moon is basically the mumps, like the spreading of the mumps. But what it talked about in it was how, the individual spreads the thing. And in this case, they're looking at the disease. And that's true. We can spread disease. We can also spread love, goodwill, kindness. And I think that this is a reminder that everything you do impacts the collective on this planet. And it's not just about disease. It's about the mind field, the energy that you offer to strangers, the energy you offer to your friends and loved ones, interestingly enough. And to be very aware of that. That's part of the power to be aware of with Pluto in Aquarius. So I thought that was a really interesting energy. If we look at the Sabian symbol for 3 degrees, Leo, it was pretty fun. It was basically a middle-aged woman with her hair down and like wearing no bra in a little dress. Like just the continuation of freedom of self and expression and the youthfulness that can continue. So I really appreciated that one. And that's another part of spreading your energy, how you decide to express yourself, whether it's in your clothing or your hair or your makeup or just the energy that you're vibing with as you walk down the street or you drive your car down the street or even as you dance in your house. So it's awareness of the collective energies and your part in that, which makes so much sense as I look at these astro energies. And if there's ever a call to Lilith it up, it is right now. So Lilith it up. Whew, there's a lot going on. Let's look at the cards. I have a beautiful one from the inner child. I cannot wait to look at that. I'm going to start with the aloneness card, taking a little time by yourself in this energy. We've all got lessons that we're learning, and we've all got things that are happening right now, unfolding, completing, so that we can lean into the mission that's calling us, even if you don't know right now. And I will say that has been unfolding for me with the disappearance of my page and other things that are unfolding. But the universe is reminding us we are creators and we have support. We have guidance. There is always guidance available. And sometimes it just involves sitting and listening, tuning in, recalibrating your connection with God, Spirit, Universe, whatever it is, your guides, any and all of that. Finally, we have, love this card, the integration card. I call this my twin flame card. But this is really about, I think, that balance within the self, the mind and the heart, the yin and the yang, your light and your shadow, all of these layers with a little snaky action going on right there, the Ouroboros, but all of these energies working together to support you. So, inner child card, love. Connect to eternity within, because you are the soul of the universe and your name is love. But it says, let yourself be held by love. And I will tell you that that's something I will do in tense moments. I actually used to do it more than I do it now. I used to imagine like the hand of God, just a big hand, and me like leaning into the hand and relaxing into it. My experience now is like cuddle with Luce. Luce is the hand of God for me right now, because Luce brings that divine support, presence, love. Her Taurus self is amazing at that when she's not being a Scorpio moon. So I'm going to read this whole thing because I think it's beautiful. Within us lies hundreds of worlds, thousands of lives, millions of possibilities. We are infinite, stretching forever into the expanse of the universe. As beings of stardust and sunfire, we carry eternity within us. It is in our remembrance of our essence that we find stillness and peace that extends past the borders of time. If you have pulled this card, it's time to connect with that eternity once more. Take some time today to go into your inner worlds and connect with the expanse of the divine. There's a wonderment exercise, and it says, find a quiet place with minimal distraction. Light a few candles, burn some incense, utilize crystals if you have any, turn on some uplifting music, and go inward. They suggest instrumental music, by the way. Start by visualizing the love at the center of your being and see that love enveloping you, surrounding you with the warm golden light. Feel the heat of that love kiss you upon the cheek and squeeze you tight in its arm. Let yourself melt into this love and become one with the divine expanse of all that is and all that will be. And there's a journaling prompt, and it says, when you hear the word divine, what emotions do you feel inside you? Is there anything that might be stopping you from fully receiving unconditional love or experiencing the wonder of the divine? So, just a really perfect card in this new moon. I want to close this with reminding you one of my favorite songs is Sowing the Seeds of Love. In any given moment, we have an opportunity to do it, but it's extra potent in a new moon, and this new moon is extra, extra, extra potent for that because it is in Leo, the sign of love, and it is being interacted with so many astro energies. Where can you sow the seeds of love in your life and in the lives of those you encounter at this time? So, gonna leave that there for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Check out my patron group if you would like to be part of the patron, this new moon patron. And besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and may your guiding light be strong, and know that you can trust the process. Namaste.